11:49 a.m., October 3rd, year 2024. This is very contrite. I think I recall the right word for that, but it's basically in the nature of that word by definition. This has gone into madness, what I can and what I cannot talk about, okay? Nevertheless, I'm going to report these things, and that will be that. End of report. They are still repeatedly, daily, multiple times a day. They try to at night, but they can't talk about things or stuff. But they are successful in the day of repeatedly trying to end my life with chemical, military gas, chemical weapons, and biological weapons. For the last 72 hours, I can certainly definitively, with no doubt, report. There's a biological weapon they're using. It's super, super dangerous. It's considered more dangerous than a nuclear WMD missile. Now, nuclear missiles can be a radius. They can take out a radius of 5 entire city blocks or like an entire town. And nowadays with nuclear missiles, you can hit an entire area and wipe out a 10-mile radius. And that'll be a hole in the ground there. Okay, so you're going to have to go and seek from a trusted official who has information on this, not me, not Heidi Granger. And you can, because I've given you enough information so you can weed out the rest. The biological weapons that they have and are using on me and using on S Street, on the good military, I've witnessed, but I can't talk about it. They're attempting to. The good guys are too equipped. This is elite special forces. Okay, these things I'm allowed to talk about, but let's just stick to the point at hand. They have biological weapons here on S Street, okay? They have brought them in and used them on me. I can definitively say with assertion, with no question in my mind, that I am being attacked with biological weapons now, okay? Okay, everything I just said in this testimony prior stands, okay? I'm just not going to repeat myself. This biological weapon they have brought in is equated and considered worse than a dirty bomb and worse than a nuclear missile warhead. Okay, now we got that clear, and I'm standing firm on that. I know what I'm talking about, and I know what they're doing to me. So they hit me today already 2 times, tried to just flat out kill me with the shit. I witnessed events that I cannot talk about. All right. And I can report that. So once I was recovered from, they were trying to kill me. And I've described it, what it's like, what you go through. And yeah, I did pray for my life again. I didn't know if I was going to make it. I did. And through scientific fact, I went out and took my garbage out after that. Yeah. And what I'm supposed to report, strangely, because I know what I'm witnessing 360, you know what I mean? In and out. I know everything I'm witnessing. Hello, folks? Yeah. Okay, Sherlock, good. I'm glad you figured that out. U.S. military. Geniuses at work. I'm only allowed to say this of what I witnessed. So on my way back and on my way to taking out my garbage in the alley of 1509 S Street Northwest, I had multiple civilians who are just walking around like, you know what I mean, in a trance. Like if I was just talking to the ladies, we're sitting at the park, I'd say they walk around in trances. I'm pretty sure most of them are on an influence of some sort of substance. I mean, they seem like it, dude. You know, they're just kind of walking around out of it. Everybody walks around by themselves. They all holding cell phones. Like nobody can walk in the city without a cell phone in their hand when they walk on S and 15th or on S Street. And they're all kind of out of it. Like their eyes, like they look like they're under the influence. You have to get a little closer to them to see if the pupils were dilated, but they probably would, okay? So they look like they're on a substance. Everybody walks really slow. I'm high. I'm fucking loaded. I got my cell phone in my hand. I'm strolling past a chemical weapons warehouse for Putin in Saudi Arabia. I'm a really cool American. Nothing can stop us. Nothing can touch a hair on my head as I walk, grasping and clutching and clasping my cell phone, loaded on something all by myself, just tranced out, zombie like, walking down the street. So they were all doing that. It was mostly women and one very, very gay man. Okay? The gay men in DC are really bad news. They're all about crystal methamphetamine, hard narcotic drugs, gay porno, any sort of human trafficking, any sort of really nasty organized crime, violent events. The homosexual men here and Castro, California are seriously violent offenders. They're not your nice uncle who bakes cupcakes. I have told you that. You better start listening to me. Okay. Now, every single one of these civilians wanted to stand literally in my way of my cart. There was two gay men. One of the gay men, they were all walking by themselves. One of the gay men had his cell phone in his hand. He was walking towards us and 15th with two boxer dogs. And he let one of the boxer dogs go way off its leash to intimidate me. I'm not going to challenge a boxer dog. I did what I did to protect myself from his dog. But if there was a dog bite, he would be totally liable and sued. Oh, completely. That was so intentional to let your dog bite a person. But the dog wasn't scared of me. The dogs here are pretty nice and very, very well trained. That's why I have always said, and let me repeat myself and say it again, because it sounds like a broken record. When the good guys strike DC, they have to. They're storing biological and chemical weapons and doing everything else they do. I don't need to get sidetracked with what the United States is doing. Okay, thank you very much. When it happens, there's packs of dogs that run the streets here. That is why I set up the pet program. Does this ring any bells? These dogs are really nice animals. They run right up to the good guys, the troops. They're not the type, but even this guy who wanted his boxer dog today to lunge and scare me was too freaking nice. These are really nice dogs here. The people here were really affluent, extremely wealthy. They had tons of cash to play with, tons of cash to buy all these drugs that they zone out and walk like a zombie down the street while they're high, holding onto their cell phones. And they bought really expensive purebred dogs. It's basically all you see. If you walk down the street, you'll see a dog show, like a purebred dog show. Of my dog costs $5,000. Oh, your dog costs $3,000. I'm not kidding you. It is a dog show. It has been a dog show ever since I arrived in this city. Of purebred, super expensive dogs. These dogs are cared for, but they're not loved because the owners aren't capable of loving animals or other people. And we're going to discuss that later. If you can't figure that out on your own, God help you. So they bought these dogs. All right, they're all over town. These dogs, once the city is struck with missiles justifiably in defense, the U.S. good guys, if I must remind you, strike our own country to save our own sovereign territory. Okay? All right. I don't need to explain to people what Donald Trump and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are all about, do I? If I do, I can't help you anymore. Or what the Saudi prince is all about. Please, if I do, I just need you to just go seek more information elsewhere, because I can't waste my time anymore. All right, so once the city, the country is struck by the U.S. good guys, allied forces, there's packs of dogs that roam the streets. I start the pet program. All right, enough said about that. So this one homosexual man tried to have his dog, his really nice, well-trained, very sweet little, very pretty boxer dog, really sweet dog, very adoptable, into a new home right away. Really nice dog. Just fine with kids, but you want to check it out. But the dog was really sweet. But he's trying to intimidate me, harass me, bully me. That's all I got, and that's what I'm to report. From the time I went to the garbage, I encountered that gay man trying to have his dog lunge at me, the boxer. And these boxers can have a bite if they're not trained. They can definitely bite. Dog bite. So this guy would have been fucking liable. Off to go to court because this fag let his dog bite me. But it didn't happen, okay? That gay man was white. All right, anyway, so I went and dumped my garbage out. On the way back, I encountered another gay man who was African American. Everybody clutching their phones, everybody standing in my way. So the gay man on the way there tried to have his dog bite me. The gay man on the way back got in the way of my car, slowed down, wouldn't move, and challenged me all the way, and then insisted on walking behind me, right past my freaking house, which is a chemical weapons warehouse. All the time clasping his phone, all the time watching his phone, because I watched him when I was approaching him coming up towards SN15. All right, there was another woman that was near the gay man on the way to the garbage, and there was two women that were near the gay man on my way back from the garbage. Every one of these women, and there was an Afro, Arab, Ethiopian, Somalian, I could tell from across the street, female, on SM15th on my way to the garbage that stood just staring me down. I almost laughed at her. But I know the rules. Don't acknowledge any of these people because this is not a safe place to get smart. Heidi, all you do is report the things I report, which are events occurring in here, and it's not a place to laugh at an idiot, to get smart. My job is to get the garbage there and back and just stay away from these civilians, dude. Every one of them staring you down and really getting confrontational with you. And you're not doing anything, not even looking at them. So that Afro-Arab, Ethiopian, Somalian woman across the street was really aggressive, staring me down. Body language, everything was just blowing my mind. Okay? The white homosexual man tried to let his dog bite me. He wouldn't move out of the way. Everyone really hostile, intimidating, bullying, so on and so forth. Coming back, the African American male really did it in. I just described what he did. I'm not going to repeat myself. And there was two women. They looked like they could be Iranian, Spanish. There was something like that, okay? Okay, anyway, so they were coming and they were staring me down too. So it was one of those days that I have described. They happen every so-and-so when I go out there, where there's a few people that are hovering around this chemical weapons warehouse. They're walking the sidewalk, pedestrian traffic, and they're serious fucking scuzzbags. Remember the time I said the two were out there hallucinating on some sort of narcotic? Yeah, and there was the hooker, and then there was her pimp behind her, the female pimp. No, this shit I'm not making up. So there are times where you go out onto the street here, and it's serious fucking scuzzbags you encounter, and they're getting really aggressive and hostile towards me again. After today, I gotta think twice about how I go out there, because they're letting their dogs lunge at me. They're getting really physically physical with me when I'm pushing my cart, and they're men. They're homosexual men. So enough said with that. And the biological weapons are still happening. I'm at 13 minutes. Oh, I'm getting laid out and praying for my life. And I will talk about that shit later. It's serious. Oh, I do need to mention, when they lay on their bioweapons, they lay it on till I don't know if they're going to fucking stop, and I'm asking if I need to run out of my house. It's at least 15 minutes I'm in there. They go and go and go. And there's events I witness in here, but I cannot talk. All right, adios.